Hello lovers, how you're doing today? Happy Valentine's Day to you. I hope you're enjoying your Valentine's season. Okay, welcome to this very exciting and special edition of Finding Love titled the Valentine's Special. I am Grace Renner. Finding Love is an insightful guide for anyone who is ready for the journey of marriage and desires to do it the way the Creator has designed it. It's important for us to know that marriage is God's idea. As after he created Adam, he said, "It is not good for man to be alone. Let us make him a help meet for him." And then he created Eve from Adam's rib. Now, every other creature he created from the ground. But for Eve, he created her from Adam's ribs. Now, that creator of marriage also said, marriage is a mystery. So it's only advisable for us to always go to him when we have questions or desire solutions to our marriage. Now, Finding Love is that show that prepares you for the journey of marriage and also gives you godly solutions and answers that you might desire for marriage. Now, on our previous episodes of Finding Love, we rounded up on dealing with heartbreaks. Today we'll be talking about how to know that he or she is the one for you. I'll be right back, guys. You're welcome back, guys. Now, like I said, how to know that he or she is the one for you. Okay, so when you ask some people that have been married for a while, how did you know that this person is the one for you, or what convinced you that this person is the one for you? You hear things like, "Oh, I just knew, we just clicked, I don't know," things like that. Well, the answer is correct. All the answers are correct. It's just a feeling, Now, but the thing is, for someone who is looking for guidance or signs, it might not be a complete answer. So having thought deep about it and done some researches and asked some people questions, I realized that there are some subtle signs that you could use to know if the person you're with or you're looking at is the one for you. Now, here are 3 signs. Number 1, peace. Number 2, favor. Number 3, similarity of vision. Now, I'm going to take number 1 today, which is peace, and then on our next edition we'll talk about favor and similarity of vision. So number 1, peace. Now, the relationship will feel very peaceful and easy. In your heart, you would have this peace of mind. Now, the Bible says in Philippians 4:7, "The peace of God that passeth all understanding will guide your heart and mind through Christ Jesus." Now, we also said earlier that marriage is God's idea. Now, one of the signs you'd use to know that you found the one is that you would have that peace of God in your heart. There'll be this thing like nothing is missing, nothing is broken. There will be this absolute peace in your heart. That's not to say that relationships are perfect, because of course, even a perfect relationship would have, some rough edges and tumbles here and there. But there's this peace that you feel on the inside, like you're doing something right. Now, to further elaborate on this piece, let me highlight some, examples or signs of this piece. Number 1, the relationship will feel very easy. You'll be drama free. You have this, you would describe a relationship as easy. Someone asks you, "Oh, how is this person?" or "How do you find this relationship?" There'll be this ease in your heart. You would explain that it's quite easy. Now, let me give a personal example. I remember my last relationship before I met my husband. That was the most stressful relationship I'd ever been in. It was very stressful, very embarrassing, very strenuous. I remember on several occasions I would just feel drained talking to him. Now, the thing is, before I even said yes to him, I didn't have peace of mind about it, but I just felt, okay, maybe if I try to get to know him more, as we go, maybe I'll feel easy, but at the end of the day, it got worse, so compared to when I met my husband. Now, I'm still coming to the familiar feeling, which is number 2, but let me talk about the peace. From the moment I met my husband, I had this, I hadn't even met him, I had just spoken to him on the phone. This was someone that was saying, when whoever connected us, I was saying, the age gap and all, but at the time I heard his voice, there was this peace in my heart that I could not explain, so peace. Your relationship will be described as easy. That's the number 1 sign of peace in your heart towards that person. Number 2, an instant feeling of familiarity. Now, I already talked about this a bit in my number 1 point. I'll use myself as a personal example. Like I said, when I met my husband. Now, My husband and I were connected by a friend, and then my husband called me on the phone. When he spoke to me on the phone, there was just something about his voice. I even asked him, I said, have we spoken before? He was like, my name is Tunde Renner. I'm like, that name sounds familiar. And then your voice, have we met before? I asked him, what do you do? I mean, our paths might have crossed. And I was like, oh, you two, you sound kind of familiar. But interestingly, when we got to meet that day, he had not met me before, I had not met him before. It was just this thing, this true connection that felt like, we had met before. And if you ask a lot of couples, I mean, most couples, not all the time, but most couples will tell you, oh yeah, the same for me. When I met so and so person, there was this deja vu kind of thing, like we had met before, like that moment had happened before. These are signs. Now, it's important for you to also be able to differentiate between the excitement and anxiety of just meeting a new person, or the loss of just meeting a new person, and then the genuine true connection of, oh, this person looks familiar. Because some people mix it up. They are so excited they just met somebody new, and then they feel, oh, this person looks familiar. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about this true connection that just feels like it's like this moment has happened before, or there's something about their voice that sounds familiar, or their comportment, or their attitude that feels familiar. So that's number 2 sign of peace, that gives you peace in your heart, that you have you are with the right person, or you're looking at the right person. Number 3, you feel comfortable being vulnerable around them. Now, some of us go through life holding things back, holding some piece of ourselves back from the entire world, but then there are just some people that you will meet and you feel so comfortable around them. And then there's some you meet, you'll be able to feel very vulnerable around them. Now, one of the signs that you might have found that person is, the ability to be able to feel vulnerable around them. Share secrets about yourself, share your secret pains, your secret hurt, without having to hold back anything. You'd be yourself around them. You'd not be worried about being, fake, or what's the word now? Being fake, or being, for want of a better word, hidden. Okay? Now, you would also feel like you can say anything in front of them without fear of being criticized or being looked down on. You'll be very open. I mean, you would not need to take them to someone else's house to impress them, to make them feel like, okay, this is your own house. If you live in a face me, I face you, or you live in a rural environment that is not particularly presentable, you bring them in with an open heart, because you know that, there's just something about this person that makes you feel the need to be open and vulnerable, So that's number 3. Number 4, you're okay being bored in each other's company. Now, when you just recently met somebody, the whole chemistry and everything flaring up, every time you guys are together, maybe you're going on dates, you're going for ice cream or whatever, there's this excitement about the activity that you guys are doing together. Now, the true test of compatibility is being able to just enjoy each other's company without any activity. Just being bored together and enjoying it. Or maybe going for grocery shopping, or folding clothes together, or just arranging closets together, or just doing things that don't really matter, and just enjoying being in the company of the person. Let me give you a personal example. When I nearly met my husband, after all the high of going out on dates and everything, it got to a point where, in getting to know each other, we'll just stay together, play music, we'll just listen. There was this song he would play for me, Jesus Culture. We'll listen to it for hours and hours, and we will never get bored of each other. Sometimes we'll just sit down and just gist, even when we had really nothing to talk about. He will talk about where he used to work before, I'll talk about modeling, my story from the past and things like that. And we'll just enjoy, not even going out to the movies or anything like that. I mean, I remember when we got married and went for honeymoon. When we got to Dubai, the first 3 or 4 days, we're going up and down. We'll go to the mall, we'll go to Bajarab, we'll go here, we'll go there. At some point, we even got tired, and guess what we did? We just stayed inside our hotel room and just enjoyed each other's company. We even bought some movies at the store and just watched. When we're done with the movies, we just sat down and just enjoyed our company. That's a true test of compatibility. Now, these are signs that you would notice if you really have peace in your heart towards that person or in that relationship. So, and this is the true test of compatibility, because it's important that whoever you spend the rest of your life with is somebody that you can enjoy their company even without any activity. Marriage is a long journey. It's a marathon. It's not a split. It's a marathon. So even after the whole high and the excitement of, oh, we've just gotten married, you should still be able to enjoy each other's company without all of that. So those are the tests, those are the signs that you see in somebody or in a relationship if the person is the one. Okay. Number 5. Now the one will be someone whose flaws or shortcomings you are able to tolerate. Now there's a difference between ignoring someone else's flaws that might pose a danger to your relationship, or just loving them and being able to manage them even with their flaws. Now it's important that you do not ignore signs of red flags or flaws that you need to address in a relationship just because you're trying to avoid breaking up with the person or facing the fear of the person not being the one for you. So if this person you're with or looking to be with has some flaws that you feel that you need to address, it's important that you address these flaws. Okay. Now if these flaws are things that you can actually live with, it's a sign that this person might be the one for you. Now that's not to say that your relationship will not be tested. Sometimes the lack of peace that you feel is not a sign that the person is not for you, but it's just a sign that there is an attitude or a character flaw that you are not addressing, which you need to address, which you need to bring into light for you and your partner to address. Okay, so like I said, no relationship is perfect. You'll be tested, but the most important thing is, this person you're with, do they have character flaws that you can tolerate, that would not pose a problem in your marriage in the long run? Now in conclusion, like I said before, even when you feel like you have met the one for you, you still have some doubts here and there. Now that's not to say that that person is not for you. You need to check and see where these doubts are coming from. If it's coming from maybe an attitude or a flaw in that person, see if it's something that you can address, and then everybody will be fine. But if it's coming from a place of for some reason you don't feel like it's the right thing, then it just might not be the right relationship for you. The person might not just be the one for you. Okay. So I remember when I met my husband, because it wasn't like the typical way I've been meeting other guys. I mean, someone connected us. So even though I had peace in my heart, I still had doubts here and there. And then I decided to fast and pray about it, just so that I could be sure and, have that peace in my heart. And the same thing with him too. At some point, even when we had met each other, we, were already going fine. He felt the need to take some time, to be sure, to clear every doubt in his head, to pray about it, And at the end of the day, when the whole water settled, it was the peace of God in our hearts that guided us. And we're for almost 4 years in marriage now, and we're still going fine, and we're happy. And that's what I wish for you. Okay, so I'll put an end to this episode right here. On our next episode, we'll be talking about the favor aspect and similarity of vision. I remain Grace Ikoma. Once again, happy Valentine. See you next time.
Lost in the crowd, follow the stars. You see the path into my heart. I'm waiting, I'm ready to dance all night, holding your hand as I watch you smile. Can I have this dance under the sky? Let the world know I am yours. Can I hold your hand as you hold my heart? Forever loving you till forever is done. Forever loving you till forever is done. Beauty and poise, just in one glance. All that I ever want is me in your arms. Will you take your chance on this romance? You said beautiful. of this dance? Can our hands just dance under the sky? And the world know I am yours. I'll hold your hand, 'cause you hold my heart. Forever loving you, till forever is done. Forever loving you, till forever is done. Oh, love was never ever found to right. Love and memories is all we'll have. Forever loving you, till forever is done. Forever loving you, till forever is done. Can I have this dance under the sky? Let the... You know I want you. It's not a secret I try to hide. You know you want me, so don't keep saying our hands are tied. How do we rewrite the stars?